Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, the Grim Roller, back once again with my good friends to play Dungeons and Dragons: The Curse of Strahd. Woo! Uh, yeah. I'm joined right now with Tips and Bard, and we will soon be having coffee over as well. She's just a little bit behind, but until then, let's just get back with the group and get going with the session. So I'll switch this on. Uh, Here we go. Brilliant. As that we're waiting for Kat anyway to join us, I was just wondering if Bud, you would like to recap on what happened last time. Yeah, I could do that. Yes. Mm. Ban. Ban. Mm. Yes. Yep. So you had a couple of things you not too much. You found some remains of the battle that happened a year ago. Things that you found are various dead bodies that had been left out near the bridge, who obviously were struck down amidst the battle. Uh, and I think you found a knife there, just a silver knife was all you found from a little battle with a zombie there. You also went to look at the riverbed near the waterfall because you heard that the dark wizard, who'd been defeated by Strahd, had got blown down there, and you found like a cartoony hole in the mud underneath the waterfall where he'd obviously impacted, and it was enough for it to compress the shape of him down there, but there was no remains, so that you think he might still be at large. Perhaps it's a mystery of what happened to the wizard. And then the last thing you did before you came to the castle is you met with the coachman, who was a very nice gentleman who offered you a lift to the castle, avoiding any monsters that might have laid in wait for you on the dark road to Castle Ravenloft. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, which has an upgrade to it, by the way. We discussed this last time. If you twist the wrist of it, it will detach the hand, which has a 30-foot steel cable attached to it, which might be quite useful now that you have a pet dog, because you can like hold onto his neck with the hand, and then it becomes a lead. Yeah, cats. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, but you have to attune to it first. So it's a very powerful item once you attune to it. Um, I can go for the list of the details, but it's only the tuner gets those extra details. With the other people, they just get an advantage for the aura against. I think it's like attacks from good and evil. I think it's called. I have to quickly look that up. Where is it? The Icon of Ravenloft. Yeah, they get protection from good and evil in a 30-foot aura. It's going to be very useful. Mm. Yes, because you could also be an evil creature that doesn't want to be influenced by good-natured people. It's a way of like stopping other people affecting your emotions, making you either like a better or worse person. People should just be people. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes. I bet it's a legendary item he's managed to pick up from this church. Something that's been sitting in Strahd's. Surprisingly, Strahd has a Church of the Morning Lord in his building, and he's had this item sitting there for a long time. It had quite a lot of dust caked on it, and the poor priest you found that wished to take the item and use it to fight Strahd. He met a grisly end because he felt that he was pure enough of heart to hold this item, but it killed him some days ago. And it will recharge that shock every morning. And you got to wonder. I mean, Peregrine. I mean, he is a pretty good person, but does he even have a like a tiniest lick of evil within him? You might be worried about picking up your bag the next day. Yeah, it's like a yes. It recharges at dawn. When the dawn rises, the charges reset, and yeah, the next person with even a little bit of evil in their hearts will get a big old lightning strike that will kill you at your level. So yes, look out, indeed. Yeah, I can understand that. I'm sure it'll be fine. The old DM, like yeah. So I'm sure there'll be no problem. You'll be fine. What's this circle here? Is that 30 feet circle? Wow, that's a lot bigger. Yeah. And by the way, before you think that this isn't the case, this is straight from the book. This is one of the kind of highlights of that particular floor. It makes very clear. So yes, you're already getting some power, but as of yet, because no one's attuned to this thing, that aura doesn't activate, but it will activate once someone has attuned to it, which you'll have to do overnight. But yeah, when you do have that, it's pretty much going to fill up the entire room. It's going to be hard for anyone to get away with it. Very nice, very nice. I guess I was thinking diameter rather than radius when I was thinking of how big that thing is. It's huge, the aura. It's great. Ultimate weapon. All right, and so that brings us to this. You're now on the second floor of Strahd's castle. And I think with this, we should celebrate, especially that Coffee's here as well. Hello, Coffee. Should put on some creepy music. Hello. Very nice, very nice. Awesome. All right, well, we're all ready to go. I've just double checked that everything is running as it should be. And we start off just as you reach the top floor with Radin. Now, Radin has been giving you some odd feelings, honestly. He, as you kind of stand close to him, you get kind of like the hairs on the back of your neck start standing up. You start getting a bit of a headache, and it sounds like a very high pitched scream is around him. You notice that when you kind of step further away from him, the kind of the sound goes away. You don't know what it is, but there seems to be somewhat of an aura of his own when you get close to him. But as that you haven't been around him for very long, nothing considerable happens yet. But what you mean, this aura? I'm I'm gonna have to say no. I mean, this is pretty unusual. Yeah, Floki has been in a lot of different places in this part of the world. He's experienced giant animals and creatures that live in the deep dark and things, and many of them have like auras to kind of like scare off enemies or lure people in. But this is different. This is much creepier, much more savage than anything he's experienced in nature. But it makes him feel like he doesn't like standing close to this man. Yeah. And as you step back, feeling this, you feel the kind of crunch underfoot of broken glass. You notice that, in fact, all the windows to your right are broken. Must be ancient stained glass windows, probably very expensive, probably have some sort of like imagery or mural or story in them, but now they're just shattered glass. And there's a lot of dust on this glass as well. It's obviously that this was broken some time ago and has not been cleaned up yet, despite being right next to the landing. Right then, yep.
And he looks around and goes, "Oh yes, I've been very busy. You understand? There's much to do. The castle is quite large, and honestly, since that battle last year, I'm still cleaning up the pieces. Hence, also as you can see, that we've had a bit of a spider outbreak. Do look out. I mean, Strahd has told all the guests of this house to not attack anyone in the lit up areas." But we cannot account for spiders. They are not as ruly as the rest of the guests. But let's not dawdle. Follow me, and I will take you to your rooms where you can put your bags down and have a rest before we have dinner with the master. And he starts moving on towards the doors. Do you realize if I ping you? You had gone off to another stairwell, which you noticed had no torches, and you were about to investigate into the darker parts of the castle when you heard the scream from Loon when he was struck by lightning, and you came over to kind of help him with his injuries after the fact. So in that point, you kind of rejoined the group. But I guess the idea of these other staircases, these other routes, maybe some that are even lit, is still in the back of your mind. You can't help but want to explore such a strange and beautiful castle, such a huge space. So yes, if you are tempted to split from the party in this location, you can do so to a degree. Everyone traveling between floors isn't quite possible in Roll20, you have to admit, but appearing on different parts of different floors, there's nothing wrong with that. Feel free to look around. I can already see Nina is traveling. Rather than stops and he goes, "Ah, yes, this is the master's brooding area. He likes to sit here in the dark and brood menacingly." Yes. So, already Nina has gone off track and opened a door, which she has found lit, where there is a man furiously scribbling on paper. So, do the rest of you go looking, or do you ignore her for now? That's fine, yes. This is a great moment for kind of a splitting party. So we'll start off with what happens to Nina and Floki as they enter into this this brand new room. Let me just get the character sheet for this guy. It's got some notes. So, yes, you come into the room and you can see on the table, there's this dark wooden table, that there is a man with a name plaque next to him. His name is Leaf Lipsieg. He prefers Mr. Lipsieg. And he is scribbling counts and numbers and kind of notes on several papers. There's papers all over the place. There's no organization to it. They're just, a lot of them are just falling around the space. You can even see that his quill is half dry. Half the words he's writing are just scratches on the parchment itself as he kind of finishes it and throws another one behind him. He seems to be distracted and hasn't really noticed you coming in. It's a matter of perception, isn't it, in this world? So if you step in further, you'd notice that there are dusty scrolls and tomes lining the walls of this room. More scrolls and books lie scattered on the floor, and around the room are 4 heavy wooden chests fitted with sturdy iron locks. The only unobstructed floor space is directly in front of the doors and the east and west walls. In the centre of the clutter stands the desk. A figure crouches atop of it, tall but crouched over, just sweat dripping off on his head onto the paper, which mixes with the ink.
Nearby to him, within their hand's reach, is a rope hanging down. The rope looks like a slack noose. Yes, I'll quickly draw that in. So it's freehand. Let's go. There's a rope hanging down here, and it's just got a little kind of hoop to it. It's within hand's reach. Sure. Yeah, can you roll a DC 30 strength check, please? Very nice. It's in that one. What you find is that your hands. You feel after having stood near Rahadan for so long, you've become sweaty as well, and your fingers slip on the box, and you end up breaking a nail. Yes. The box seems extremely sturdy. It seems that you would need to find a key to open this. But the kind of, you do manage to lift the box slightly and make it drop down again, and that startles Lipsig. It is, I'm not ready yet. I've still got last year's accounting to do, and then I can finally take a break. And he's like, snacks that I need sugar. Please, I'm so hungry, but I can't stop. And he just pulls out another sheet, and starts scribbling again on it, dipping into kind of the half-dried ink pool as he kind of continues to scribble down numbers from memory. So yeah, from the rations you have an apple, which you kind of hold out to him, and he's so quick to bite, like without even stopping writing, his head leaps forward and he bites into the apple, just missing your fingers, and he pulls it back and he's just like munching it with ferocity, his eyes never really leaving the page. I don't have time. I mean, a lot of these things are left over from my predecessor, and I must finish my work. I don't want to end up like him. He betrayed the master. He gave away a precious item, but that wasn't the worst. The master smashed him to pieces. He's dust beneath your boots. I can't let the same thing happen to me. His eyes look up for the first time. He's like, are you friends with the master? Do you think you could? I mean, do you think he could take one of the strikes away? I mean, if I just had one less strike, I think I'd be able to sleep at night. And he's like, ah. He kind of finally has a moment to stop, and he like takes 3 seconds to kind of breathe, and then goes back to writing on the paper. With that though, with that quick break, you do hear a rattle from the floor, and you do notice that there is a shackle attaching his leg to the leg of the desk. Yes, yes. So if you were to do an investigation check as you kind of look around the desk, please. A two. Looking around, you can't get the desk open. You realise that there's so much clutter, so many bits of paper and inkwells and like empty inkwells and things that you can't actually fully get the drawers open. Yes, let's go back to the rest of the group now, whilst the other half of the team are investigating. Radin hasn't really paid attention to the fact that the kind of group has split as he kind of continues moving on. I'll do focus ping here. As he steps into this new hallway, which has some light, but you can probably tell that the light dims pretty quickly inside this building. He moves up, and as he does so, he pulls out a torch, which I'll just drop here, as he's like, oh, surprised by the skeletal guard standing in front of him. And he's going, is that you, Jeremy? The skeleton nods its head slowly. And he's like, I'm sorry, I probably forgot to feed and water you guys again. And the skeleton nods slowly. And he turns back to the group and he goes, it's probably a good thing. These guys are ghouls, and you know what ghouls are like. They never stop talking if you give them half a chance. But this was kind of my job. If you could just not tell the master that I forgot to water them and feed them again, I'd really appreciate that. And the skeleton looks very sadly at you. Kind of like, he's been left on duty alone in the dark for a long time. But he then turns to look up at the wall behind him, and his skeletal hands come out and they press certain bricks on the wall and like turn little kind of secret knobs you didn't even realize were there, as the wall opens up, revealing another secret entrance. As you kind of guessed from like when you were downstairs when you first saw Strahd and he was playing the organ, you realized that the organ itself was a secret door. This place is a bizarre maze. But the guard opens up and he walks forward, and Radin explains, yes, these guards here, they've been assigned to you. Should you have any trouble, talk to them. Well, try to talk to them. They'll help you best you can, as much much as they can. Because you can notice that they're just a few strands of skin and muscle attached to bones that will fall apart under very little work. But they move up, and I can see that Loon is already making his way up with his dog, as he spots the room that the guard is now standing outside of. So if you guys would like to make your way towards this area, this will lead you... Yeah. Mm. Yes. So are you splitting the parts again? Do you wish to go back to what was happening in the other room, or are you going to leave that man alone? Okay, yeah. Let's go back to, because I think it'd be good for what happens in that room if the whole group together. So let's have Peregrine do his thing in the room with the accountant, and then we can move back to the other room. So right at Peregrine walks in. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. If you because you have the thieves tool, it gives you advantage on this particular check. You'll need to succeed at a DC 16 sleight of hand check to unlock these particular shackles. They're very well made. Yes, and the fact you're using tools already gives you advantage. But, yes. So what it does is it adds your dexterity proficiency. So if you've got like I need to look at your sheet, you've got like +2 maybe, or let's see +5. So you add a +5 to whatever you roll. Yes. So you roll with advantage, but you then add +5 to whatever you roll because of your proficiency has added your dexterity multiplier to it. Yes, but the tools. If you look at the tools thing, it says like you can add. Oh, sorry, it's not your +5. It's your proficiency stat, which is +2. Sorry, my mistake. It's +2. But basically, so it would be roll a sleight of hand, add +2 to it. So the first one's a nat 1. Good thing you got. Yep. Let's see what the next one gives you. That's wow. Okay. As you spend a little bit of time, but you managed to expertly open it, not even leaving a scratch, no obvious marks that you have faked the key in this way. And he stands up and he's like, oh, thank God, I really thought I was on the knife's edge there. I mean, like, after everything I'd done, I really thought the master was going to kill me, but to let me go, I mean, he is gracious. And he's like, oh yes, definitely. And he pats his like jacket and his trousers and stuff. I don't know where I left the key for master. He told me to look after. I think it must be in the room somewhere, but I'm sure the master will sense it out. But yes, I must rest. I must rest. And he starts to leave, and then but just before he goes and yes, what I said about my predecessor. I mean, I really wish he hadn't taken the symbol to Baba Lysaga. It was foolish of him. I would never do anything. And Master knows this, doesn't he? He knows that I would never do anything with that woman. Yes, I will get that name for you, so you can get that. 1 second. So he took some kind of symbol to this woman. Yes. Your first clue. So already coming to Castle Ravenloft has given you clues towards your destiny. But the man, he bows to you, and then he quickly runs out the door, and you just hear a clank as he somehow kind of disappeared through another hidden passage in the walls, and is gone. But you now got free reign to look at the room. Yeah. Yes. Yes. And I can already say, because you did such a fantastic job of that, Peregrine, who's gone to the very north of the room and pushed over a bunch of books. One of the books, which you noticed had kind of like a bright red sleeve on it with no kind of message or anything, it falls to the floor. It opens up, and you hear kind of the kind of sound of tick as the key bounces out of the book and lands on the ground. So you... yeah. In fact, let's do a contested dexterity roll here to see who gets the key. 1, 2, 3. It's going up the thing. All right. Peregrine could roll a 1 though. Yeah. I have to say, you guys did very well here, because this particular room, I was going, it's very hard to get the clues and things you needed to do it, but you have rolled extremely well, and you've also done some very good things for this poor man. I mean, yeah, he might have robbed a few banks and things in his past, but he's a good soul overall, and now you've given him his first good night's sleep he has had in the last 10 years. So yeah, really nice thing you guys did there. So you go and open all 4 chests in the room. I can tell you exactly what you get in here. Every chest. Yes, I'm sure no repercussions will come to this old man later on. But this seems to be a bunch of financial stuff for Strahd. This guy's working as like his main accountant. So a lot of Strahd's money was in this room. The first thing you find is the box has 10,000 copper coins. But you have to actually add the copper coins. You can't convert them in this case, because one of the things is coins weigh things. So if you guys are going to take this stuff, you're going to have to work out how you're going to balance the weight of all this amongst yourself. Yes. Yeah. Once. Yes. So, yeah, so you can totally leave that there. That might make things a bit easier for this poor accountant. Yeah, just weighed down by just your sheer money. Yeah, 10,000 pennies. It's a whole backpack in itself, which is good because the next chest you open contains 1,000 gold coins, which again still weighs a hefty amount here. Yep. Yep. Well, it depends because the world of D&D is different. I think they have a different weight for coins. They're pretty much smaller, these gold coins. You could call them like gold pips in this world probably. Okay, yeah. So work out amongst yourselves that you don't get overweight from it. It's like I don't know. All I know is that when you add it, you'll see it, and you'll have to just keep deleting stuff. So let me just see. Because you are super strong because of your special gloves that you can carry the greatest weight. No, they're just in a chest. So you're gonna have to put them into like a pouch. Yeah, I can say you can knit a bag. It will take you. It might take you a while. It might be. Yeah. What I can tell you is that you have a spare pouch in your backpack, Nina, that you got with your character. So you already have a pouch you can put things in. Yeah, in weight. So it's not too bad. Yes, take the full 1,000. Whoever wants to take that. That is true. You could shove, because again, you could just shove copper coins in there to kind of cover that space. That's very true. But I'm gonna. Yeah, it's good, but I'm gonna say you can only pay up to like a week in advance. So if it's 25 gold a day. Yeah, yeah. So great. You just get the box and you just have it over that magic pouch and you just start shaking it. Yeah. And you can hear on the other side someone screaming, just like yeah. As they just disappear through the other side. Yes, so that gets yeah, you get to put all that copper coin in there. So we'll just know if you want to put a note down that you got 4 days off, which is very good because I've just at really because I think he would want to take a bit of the share because I mean the money you're paying is for his services. Any money he gets is for himself. So if you're nice about him. So how much is Nina going to keep and that and put away? Keep all of it. I think it makes sense. You can share it later. You just got to count for the weight. But you're super strong, so you're going to hold on to it. So you just add 1,000 gold, please. As you're putting those into that pouch in your pocket, Peregrine, you're going to open up the next chest, which also has another 10,000 copper coins. Yes, and then whatever leftover copper coins. Yep. Yep. So again, you just hear screaming as you pour the coins down till there's a point when suddenly the coins just won't go in anymore as a full week's charge. So it's 25 gold a day. So let me just see. Like I wasn't going to do the math, so I'll let you do it. But so if we divide this by 100, we get 1,000. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. 2,500 coins. So yeah. So Nina, please add 2,500 copper coins to your backpack, which you can carry. But yes, after all that spare change that you've just been collecting from those boxes, again, very well done at getting there, you get the final prize. You don't know why this is in here, but you get an item called the Manual of Bodily Health. Have you ever heard of this before? I'll put that in here. I wonder if I could. So here it is. So you're going to have to plan when you want to use this. But what it does is you spend 48 hours over a period of 6 days reading it and practicing the special martial art techniques in there. It's like a kung fu master's book, and it adds 2 constitution to your attributes, which gives you a max of 30. Which means if you had other things that would already get you to 20, this would get you to 22 constitution. So whoever wants to be the most hardy bastard in the world that can take all the hits, that's who they want to read this to. You look at it, this it literally says in it, it's like ancient book of Shaolin martial arts. It teaches you the iron skin technique. It is amazing. So yes, you're gonna have to decide amongst yourself, maybe like after this, because it's gonna take a few days for you to learn it. And also once you've learnt it, all the writing disappears for 100 years. It's got like a spell on it, passed down by the great Shaolin monks. So yes, you will have to decide amongst yourselves later on whether that causes a rift in the group. I don't know. Lynn's been in a bad shape a few times, but he's not died yet. He has gone down a bunch, yes. It gives you +2. Oh, yeah, it gives you stat +1. You're right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But you guys have done extremely well. Yeah. Strong, Grandma. Strong Ma. I'm trying to make it smaller, which I'm working on. But I'm just making it so it's clear that you guys have opened all the things here, so you don't think there's new things up there. Yeah. So you got, yeah, it's not obvious, and no one's tried the noose, have they? So yes, you guys can move on in whatever direction. Yeah. Okay. A door, yes, leads into a very dark room, a dark stairwell. No. As you look into that room, it just falls into darkness. Yeah. Yes. So there's you picked up candles. You can try. Yeah, so this candle is actually it's a candle that you pick up. So yeah, move the candle into the room, please. So you moved it. I'll drag it for you. So you throw it into the room here, and the candle kind of plops onto the ground, a big block of wax. And as you watch it, this gust comes up from nowhere, this blowing gust, and it goes out. It's now become very dark in there. I can tell you, yes, that was not the same staircase you were looking at. This is not the staircase you're looking for. Yes. And Radin's just come back just to kind of see what's going on, because you guys have been gone for a while. As we come back, now we're going to move over to Loon. Loon, you were the first one to enter into this new room. And you see that there is a very pretty woman in a maid's outfit standing near a desk, and she's kind of like brushing things with a feather duster. What do you say to this this woman as you enter? Yes, you've. It's been. Radin explains that this is the guests' room. That you've been invited to, and Radin also says, "Yes, please put down your tools, your weapons, your gear. This is the time to rest and dress in fine clothes. In fact, I'll be back very soon. I forgot to bring them with me, but I have some fine clothes to give you all as you join the master for dinner." So Radin's going to be leaving you behind for a short while. But you do see the maid, and she has a name tag on her. Her name is Helga Rovek. And she goes, "You can call me Helga." Yeah? Oh, a little dog bed. And she kind of kicks a bit of the wall, and hey presto, I'm going to draw it for you. A very cute looking dog bed just slides out of the wall. If it will let me draw it freehand. It's like a big soft bed thing here, and it did not come out the colours I was expecting. Just make that like that. Send it to the back. There you go. So now there's a nice cushioned dog bed, and it's even got like a couple of dog treats next to it as well. Thank you very much. Yes, I'll be trying our best. I mean, the master hasn't had some guests over for quite some time now, so we try our best. You know, we want to make you feel at home. So at this point, has everyone arrived back in the room? Okay, so I'm just dragging Nina over, so now you have a little bit of trouble with the old internet. Yes, the dog poop appears, and again, Helga kind of like she steps and twists like a one of the panels on the floor. You realise that there are all these interactive panels you don't even know are there, and the bit of the floor flips over, and the poop is gone. It's great. So now everyone's entered, and Radin has vanished for now down the stairs, looking for his thing. And she goes like, "Oh, it's so good to have you here. We have some chests here you can put your stuff in, and you have some nice beds you can go and sleep in after dinner. I would like to ask you, little boy, if you could just step out the room for 5 minutes. I just need to speak with the adults, okay?" And she goes like, yes, thank you very much. Now here's the menu. And she starts handing out these paper menus to everyone in the room here. And she goes, "Just to explain, it's 5 gold for foot things. It's 10 gold for hand things. It's 25 gold for anything else. And if you want an extra partner, you will have to wait an extra hour for us to get them in. But one thing is no oral, okay?" And she went, "It's 5 gold, yes, to play with the foot stuff. It's just 5 gold. We keep it nice and cheap because who doesn't like the Tootsies?" You see a big smile appear on her face. You can see a couple of fangs there in the glistening smile. She's like, "Yes, I would love to play with your footsies. What would you like?" So she puts her hand out, expecting you to put 5 gold in.
I would love to, but I have to pay for my way. I got a lot of exams I still need to pay for. She goes, oh, I'm working as a hostess, and I went to hostess university, and now I have a lot of debt. And she looks kind of upset when you say that, and goes, I am trying very hard. I've been doing this for over 70 years. You should be a bit more considerate for those younger than you. Yeah, she's only 70. This beautiful woman. Oh, of course you are. Of course you are. Like, raises her eyebrows. She looks at the other one. Yes, it's okay, dearly. It's okay. And she goes, "Oh, I can see. I can see." Her eyes are wide and her mouth is like super smiling. And so what she does really surprises you. And I would like the other two characters who are in the room right now, including the dog, need to all roll for a Constitution check to not vomit from witnessing what happens here. So that's 5 from the dog, unfortunately, who barfs on the floor. 15. Nina doesn't have any issues whatsoever. She doesn't even have to like keep it down. She's seen this kind of thing before. Yes, it's just 5 gold. Remember, if you want it for yourself. And what about Peregrine? Yeah, has Peregrine rolled? I don't see. I want to know if he vomits. Yes, so not wisdom. It's Constitution. But yeah, okay. So again, Peregrine, you've witnessed some things in your life. In fact, maybe in one of your past lives, you were Monsieur. So you may have done this yourself, but maybe with someone with a less used feet. But your feet have never felt this good. And in fact, the next dexterity check you're going to do, you have advantage on. She steps away after kind of finishing and think, oh, that was very fun. Well, I should be going now, but like I said, there are chests here to put your stuff away, and I will be here again after your dinner, so I will see you then. Bye bye. And she walks over to the wall here, then proceeds to start walking up the wall, she's kind of like Spider Woman, kind of just walking straight up the wall, presses a button on the ceiling, and then just kind of bends and slides like a snake through and out through a secret chamber in the ceiling, and is gone. Um, and again, the floor panel flips and the dog vomit disappears. But now, Loon, you're able to come back in after hearing what you don't understand what sounds you heard. So. But now that you're alone, you hear a bang bang noise from this chest. Yeah, Loon's fine as well. Yeah, after what Loon's been through with losing an arm, he's definitely seen worse. But yes, bang bang. Okay, I would like you to do a charisma saving throw, please. Yeah, shouldn't be a problem here. Excellent. So you did such a great
rate thing, and you kind of already have expecting that you do not scream as the box blasts open, and out pops a tiny little man. So we change this layer. Just a tiny little man just does a backflip out the box and just lands with like a shake of like bells. It's a little kind of ta-da moment. Like I think got there. If you can hear that. You can't hear the music? Oh, I can turn it up for you guys. Don't you worry. There we go. Music up. Do let me know it's the little duty. Where do you go? Sorry, I sent him back to the wrong layer by accident. Change that token. Shift Z. There he is. You do look around him, and you notice that the name Fritz has been embroidered on part of his arm. Yeah. As he kind of lands on the ground, he starts trying to do like a little kind of dance routine, but the way he moves, it's very creepy. Like his hands and his feet and his arms, they move like how spiders move, where it's like no movement and then suddenly kind of quick movement. Quick movement, and there's no timing to his movements. He doesn't seem to carry a rhythm at all as he continues to roll around on the floor. But he stops and he bows to you, and then he scratches on the floor with chalk the word "friend" to question mark. And he does a little dance again. He then writes down a new word, and this word says Piddlewink 2. And he looks up expectingly at all of you. He loves that, but then he still looks confused at you, and he writes Piddlewink 2, and then he kind of like puts the chalk on himself and kind of points to himself. He does a bow, yeah. Yes, on this particular one. Does anyone else introduce themselves, or were they all too scared by this strange creature that's appeared? You just give him a little petting, and he seems to like it, but it does feel super creepy to touch him. Like it's the way he kind of skitters and moves as he kind of under your fingers. Is it? Yeah. No, he looks actually surprisingly clean and tidy, and the box itself, it was obvious that these have been used quite recently, and there's no dust on them. The only really dirt he has is on his face. He's rubbed soot in to kind of give himself a bit of a jack-o'-lantern kind of paint to his otherwise metallic face, like the triangular eyes and the kind of the spiky grin. Is a bit of makeup he's put on himself. And he looks at you and he writes a question mark. And he looks at you and he writes the word scary. And he looks at you and he goes, sad, can't leave. He writes, will die. And he writes, boring power source, can't take, will die. He looks at him and goes like, maybe Master could build it. He taps the fritz on his arm. He writes down dead. He writes down, if you find Master can make it. He writes a question mark. He writes a question mark. No, he writes. He does another creepy little dance, and then he writes, yay, friends. It's a good question. So, well, apparently, so from what Strahd said is that he rescued a boy, and the boy named himself after the toy. So more mysteries, more things to discover. But it's clear that the mystery of little Piddlewink you won't be able to find in this castle, but you've now gained yourself an ally within the grounds of this castle. So well done. Woo! That's fine. You find that the other chests are empty. It seems that the maid had has kept this place very clean and tidy, and the chests were empty. But Piddlewink had snuck inside at some point, and just been waiting for the next guest to arrive, probably for many months. But yes, what I wish you all to do, and we can just say that you've done this, and so you know, at the instruction, Radin, and you don't feel that there's any reason why you shouldn't do that. You take off all your armor, take all your weapons and other kind of tools that you don't necessarily need on you at this time. We can discuss if there's anything you wish to take with you if you want to sneak it into your fine clothes. But Radin returns and hands everyone fine clothes. So if you want to add fine clothes to your inventory, you will now have some very fancy suits and dressing gowns, which are surprisingly perfect fits. Doesn't just come off any line. Like he in the time that you've been here, somehow Strahd has managed to get your measurements and get tailored suits made for you. Fine clothes, yes. They discovered that only fine clothes can be worn at certain high society events. Otherwise, we look down. You can't wear travelers' clothes at a ball. And yeah, even among these things, a little bow tie, a collar is given to Loon's dog as well, Hidali. This seems fair. I mean, if it's a walking help, then that makes sense. Yeah, so you've got your knitted gloves of strength that you just wear. Like you're wearing this beautiful white kind of gown, but you just have these kind of brightly coloured knitted gloves of ogre power. Oh, of course, you never see it. You can just have them in a pocket in the dress. But all the other equipment is put away. And you all look around. You guys have never looked so good. And you'd already got a bit cleaned up from Strahd. He'd used a few spells to kind of like clean all the dirt off you and get your hair looking pretty nice. And now you're wearing these nice suits. You are looking spiffing. As Radin again kind of opens the door, seeing you guys, goes, "Yes, you are. You all look to me like you're ready to join us for dinner. Master says it will be just a moment, so please follow me." I guess, as typical, we've got to wait for Floki to finish getting changed. He's got a lot of stuff in his hair. Oh, and I should say that when Radin came in, that Piddlewink kind of hid under the bed briefly, so he didn't get spotted. Yeah, that's fine. If you ever need to, you can just mouse drag and you can get around any kind of obstacles. It's a complex map, this place. Who are we missing here? Nina. Yes, Nina. So do you go down that corridor? Okay, because when you get to here, your foot steps onto a special kind of stone, and it kind of sinks to the ground. You hear the whirring of gears and things as something is activated. At that one moment, and I'll change the music to something a bit more appropriate. And sorry, I'm just sorting out these technical things. And there we go. As Strahd bursts out of a hatchway above and comes rushing towards you, screaming, "I am going to kill you! Ha 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 ha!" So I need you to do a wisdom saving throw of 21, please. One, two, three, four. That's incredible. And that was a 13. You're just having some bad luck. Great. So you are so shocked. You let out a big scream, which everyone else can hear. As you fall on your back and you take a 1d4 damage. Let's roll you your 1d4. And you take 2 points of damage as you fall back and bonk your head on the floor quite harshly. As this Strahd rushes over above you, flying past, getting to the end of the hallway where he then, he's still in that kind of scary pose, kind of rocks back and forward. And then slowly retreats, and he's like, "Ha ha ha! I'm going to kill you! Ha ha ha! I'm going to kill you! Ha ha ha!" As Strahd kind of returns back out and then disappears again through the hatch that he was in. Yeah. And again, this trap is straight out of the Book of Strahd. If you're thinking this is a custom-made thing, this place is full of traps, and you just stepped into this one. But yes, it's now retracted, and that the stone you stepped on before, has resurfaced and clicked back into place. So you've taken a little bit of a hit. And you've also screamed. Yes, you can. Does anyone else want to come and follow? Like, you've just heard your friend screaming. Yeah. And Loon? Is Loon going to come to help, or is he going to ignore as well? And so what happens? Peregrine comes rushing in to help from the screen, just as Nina, you said you're going to step onto the plate again, as the you hear the whirring and clicking sound as Strahd bursts in through the hatch above, flying down the room, screaming at you, as he's like, "Ha ha ha! You're going to die! Ha ha ha!" Goes past. Peregrine has not seen this before, so he's going to have to roll a DC 21 Wisdom saving throw to not scream like a little girl and also fall over as he is attacked by this mechanical Strahd. Oh, I would have made it. Yeah, but instead you're gonna fall back. You're gonna scream like a little girl. Yeah, and you're going to take another, what's it, 1d4 damage as well. So you take 2 points of damage too, as you fall backwards and bash your head. And, sorry, it should be 30, not 24, 34. As the Strahd animatronic kind of like whips to the end of the room and then starts slowly retreating backwards, and it's now kind of like, it kind of goes up and it's just out of hand's reach. As it slowly returns. Ha ha ha! You're going to die! Ha ha ha! You're going to die! Do you guys want to do anything before it leaves the room? and just as Nina jumps on the same block again, I assume. It comes out. Can you also roll a DC 21? Yes, please. Yeah. No. You guys are gonna die this whole way. Oof! Oh my god! The dog's down. The dog's got 4. It's now been knocked unconscious and it's having to do death saving throws. Yeah. As you said, so the dog just falls back and knocks itself out. Yeah. Mending won't work, and it also takes 10 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, you can. Please roll. Got to get both 4s after you guys got 2s. It gets restored. And also, you notice that Loon, he's bleeding quite a lot from the nose. The dog is okay again. Yeah. Exactly. It is very confused by what happened. Yes. You guys want to carry on? The one that's wrapped in the sleeve. Yeah. So you wipe off the blood. I'm going to say that's going to add 1 point of health back to you. Because that's what Grandma Love does. Yeah. Okay. So you guys have been attacked by an animatronic Strahd multiple times. Do you wish to continue down this cursed corridor? press it again, and it happens again. Ha ha ha! You're going to die, and it's weird. But you guys kind of, yes, you can. So it would be you have to jump for it, and I think it's be dexterity 16. So you managed to kind of leap up, and you managed to grab its legs when it's lowered down on the first run, and you've now grabbed hold of it, and it easily pops off the rope that was carrying into the room, and it's you're going to die. Yeah. Yep. Great. So yeah, so you can add to your inventory. You can add vampire costume because it was quite generic costume. It's not like Strahd's usual gear. This is like a generic vampire costume with a Strahd face model. And Nina, you can add anatomically correct wooden statue of Strahd. Yeah, it's like it. You see that there's actually a signature on it, but it says Rahadin on it, and he's made it very lifelike. No, it's not. You have to make it customize him. It's about. It's quite light. It's a bit of wood. Maybe £40. All right. So you guys have added that to your inventory. I'll just push it out of the way. So that trap is now diffused. And what's this going on? Radin is shouting, "Are you guys going to be coming for dinner, or should I tell the master you're going to bed early?" And yes, and as you've been standing very close for a while, Floki, next to Rahadin, you get a splitting headache as like you hear what sounds like a person screaming very loudly next to your ear, and you take a 1d4 psychic damage from standing close to him, which is 2 points. Yeah, it's proving a very deadly time to get out this hallway. But you guys all arrive together. So I'm -2 this, and yes, let's move on to the next location because it's already 9 o'clock, and you guys have barely explored this place at all. That's all good. All right, here we are back again. -2. That other corridor you were looking at? No, it had a door at the end of it. But I will let you know when you opened it and you looked in the room and it was pitch black. Yeah. Just getting everyone's health to where they need to be. Okay. All right. Cool. So, Radin, who is somewhere. Where would I put him? Have I lost him somewhere? Oh, there he is. I've got him. He is now asking you to follow him down back to the same room that you first met Strahd when you arrived at the castle. And I'm going to change the music up again. And yeah, just as you arrive, like the atmosphere just feels better. You know, you feel this is a nice warm room, positive energy in the room. As Strahd meets you in his friends,
Thank you so much for getting dressed. I'm glad the clothes I picked for you suit you. You are looking smashing, I believe is the phrase. Haha.
Maybe. Yes, Strahd is known. I'm known for my jokes. I have a good sense of humor. But yes, thank you, friends, for joining me in the feast. Please sit wherever you like. We won't bite. Okay, so Strahd is going to be picking his seat, I think, right here. Yeah, he can go to the head. All right, let's push him all the way over to the head. That's a good suggestion. So he's going to sit up here. So once everyone's found their seats, the rest of the guests will also do the same. That is fine. So you're going to sit at that far end of the table. I'm just going to move you here. We can take this torch and move it out of the way, just so you can do your stuff easier. And yes, as you sit down, you notice that one excited-looking bride sits down between you and Floki. You also have another one of the brides sits down near Saloon, and the last one sits looking quite angry towards Nina. And now that you all sit down, Strahd continues. Tonight, I have selected only the rarest and most exquisite dishes in all of Barovia and beyond. And please do not hold back. This is a celebration of friendship, both new and old. So feel free to gorge yourselves. Now, to begin with, a traditional starter from my homeland of Zarovia. Garlic frog legs with snails and haggis sliders, with a side of pickled garlic. And you can see that the brides all kind of giggle as they hear about pickled garlic. This is, of course, for ourselves tonight. But I paired these dishes with a 2-year-old bottle of Polsad. You will find it quite full. And with that command, you start hearing kind of a lot of clattering and things outside as some maids start coming to the room and servants. I'm going to move this torch out of the way, just right out. And you might notice one of them looks quite familiar. Does anyone remember this woman? Or a picture you might have seen of her? She is the daughter of Mad Mary. Yeah, I'll post the name. So you remember that Mad Mary had a poster with the words Gertrude Mads. She looks happy, but maybe a little shy. The kind of shyness you might get when you're performing on a stage. Like, it's obviously that this is a new vocation for her. But she seems quite chipper and giggly. But then there's also another man. This man looks quite terrified. His eyes keep darting back to Strahd, and his left hand is constantly shaking in fear as he kind of comes in, and like the plates he holds are kind of clattering with that kind of shake that he has in his hands as he steps inside, and he kind of like does a bow, and he proceeds to start walking around to everyone's seat, and both he and Gertruda start putting food on everyone's plates. But when they're coming to the vampires, instead they're putting on the plates the singled pickled garlic. It walks around the room. Do you wish to speak to any of them in passing whilst they're going around, or do you wish to just allow Strahd to continue? Yeah, it's just Strahd potions for now. That's what it is. Like, it's his own concoction. Um, the girl kind of looks at you a bit confused. She doesn't know what it is. She does a little curtsy, and then she timidly kind of walks back to Strahd and whispers into his ear. And he goes, "Ah, yes, the potions. They are quite good, aren't they? We will hand out potions at the end of dinner if you can wait." And she goes, Why would I need help? This is everything I've ever wanted." She giggles, thinking this is like a funny little game, and she leaves with the other trembling man kind of following quickly behind her, wanting to get out of the room as quick as possible as they disappear back towards the kitchen. Strahd continues, goes, "Yes, please tuck it in, and but do leave some space for the main course. We have sweet potato mash coming up with wild carrots and beef steaks. They are in well done, medium, rare, or bloodied, should you wish to partake. And this will be paired with a delicate old bottle of Malbec that I have down in the basement. And of course, after that, we will have dessert, and that will be a surprise." Wahaha. But you guys can start tucking into your meals. With a very small fork. Strahd is like, good, gorge yourself. Yes, have as much as you want. just touches it just plays with the fork. You notice and Strahd goes, "Maybe in a moment, my darling," but see, he looks towards the other vampires. You can see that they all have one pickled clove of garlic on a plate with just a bit of kind of pickle juice kind of leak onto the plate, and he goes, "Are we all ready, darlings?" And all the brides kind of nod happily as they go, "3, 2, 1," and they all quickly take the garlic, and then they also, and they start kind of waving a hand in front of their mouth like it's like a super hot chili that they've all eaten, and yes, they're kind of enjoying the pain of like eating what's to them super spicy. And in fact, the one over here, Anna, she kind of looks around and goes, "Yes, that was very spicy." As it's kind of like made her voice deeper for a moment, and they enjoy it. And then Sal goes, "Oh, right, that was very good. I have to wait on the frog's leg for a moment. Please dig in, Ninali." And with that, the girl across from you kind of like her eyebrow raises, goes, "Ah, yes, I remember that's the case, isn't it? Well, hello, Ninari. It is a surprise to see you back here, or that you were even allowed back here. Please, ladies, let's bygones be bygones. Let's not fight at the dinner table." "Oh, shush you. Can't you see that the ladies are talking? It has been so very long, Ninali, hasn't it? And the years have been, oh, so very hard on you, I see." She kind of scowls at you with that. Well, yes, maybe that's the case, but I remember that last time you were here, you were boasting about how you were going to become immortal yourself, but I see you didn't quite get your wish despite what happened. I guess now you regret turning down my husband's offer. She kind of... Yep. Sorry, carry on, Karen. Everyone shudders at the word vampire. And Strahd leads in and goes, Nanari, you know this. That is not your word. That is our word. You cannot say that word. You must call us age-disabled or ageless. That is the correct term. We've made it very clear. And she nods at this because I understand. Yes, you could maybe call it a-mortal. And Ladina continues and goes like, and honestly, I think you might have dodged a bullet. I mean, the Forge Wars were perhaps the last interesting time, perhaps the last time my husband was his old self. Please, not this again, not this again! Lud turns and looks at the group. Did you know that I knew Strahd back before he became the Dark Lord? Back when I was a child, the adepts whispered his name in fear. Strahd the warrior prince, Strahd the conqueror, Strahd the butcher. He cowered the dark priests, he rooted out the shadow wizards, and he slaughtered the imperial family. People respected him, but now look at him. Strahd the affable, Strahd the hobbyist, Strahd the lady shoemaker. And with that, Strahd slams his hand down hard on the table, his face transforming into that of a monster, as he yells back at his wife, "You know that was a phase!" After... And Lamina goes, maybe it is best for my husband to talk about sometimes. It must be, what, nearly 400 years ago? And Strahd nods, yes, it is a long, long time ago. Some days it feels like a distant memory, far faded, and sometimes it feels just like yesterday. Strahd goes, I was not turned to vampire. I became one at a time of great need. I sometimes regret it, but I also know that I would not have had this life had I not made that decision long ago. Honestly, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, in fact, I would like Peregrine and also Nina to roll history checks to see if they've heard anything from their previous visits to these lands. Very nice. So, Peregrine's heard a few things, but it's Nanari that has heard more. And we're actually going to flash back to like other times that you've been traveling. That Nanari has given information to the group of what she knows. A long time ago, nearly 400 years ago, in fact, actually more than 400 years ago, there was another land known as Barovia, where the Zaroviches ruled as the royal family. It was a prosperous land, maybe some 500 miles away from the land of Barovia. But Barovia was an empire, a growing empire that was conquering parts of the world. They were using dark magic. They had dark priests and shadow wizards, and they were praying to dark creatures from the Shadowfell. And once they went to Strahd's land as a peace envoy, only for them to turn and kill Strahd's father in the royal hall. This began a long and bloody war, which Strahd was the general of. He managed to beat back the Barovians and named the land Barovia, other than changing it from being the Shadow Empire as it was once called. He took the power for himself and became a vampire lord. But he did something else that day, something so terrible that the gods cast a curse onto himself and onto these lands that separated it from the rest of the world and pushed it into its own pocket dimension. It is this curse that prevents anyone, even in death, from leaving these lands. That is the known fact. That is the history of these lands. He explained as such. He said that there is a curse on these lands. Like, he and no one else can escape these lands. Ah, that's a very good one. Would you like to ask Strahd that question? Okay. Flick asks it. Ah, yes, you have heard. Well, you understand that 400 years is a long time to try many things, and I have developed cracks in the curse, in the edge fog around Barovia. This has allowed doing certain ceremonies for Vistani to, for a short time, exit and lead themselves to other worlds. Many worlds vastly different to this one. But it's also the reason why you're here. The same cracks pull people in, and I am very sorry that you are part of that. It is also the fact that only the living can leave these lands, but they can never stay out for long. Barovia pulls everyone back in, eventually. And he looks at Nina. And with that, you realise your plates are empty as you have finished your starters. And those same servants that you saw before, they come back in and they start collecting plates. If you wish to ask anything or do anything else whilst they're going around the table. Mother Neighbor, yes, she's a much more forward-thinking Vistani. I agree with her pose that she should allow mixed marriages with outsiders. She seems to want to do it for his best interests, yes. You can see the sadness in his eyes as he thinks of his homeland, Zarovia. He goes, I have tried, but even I do not possess the power of a god. They have cursed these lands. My holes, as you put them, are just tiny pinpricks in a huge field that cursed god put around us. He kind of spits at the ground. So, What have I done? What have I done? As his face turns once again into the monster form. I cursed that gods for taking away what was most precious to me, my love. It took away everything. And for once, I questioned it. And what does it do? It curses not just me, but everyone around me. You say that you love your god. Your god does not love you. Your god is a impotent child. And it does what it wishes, and it does not care about those that are left in its wake. And his face returns back to normal as he looks again sadly at his plate. With that, yeah. You cannot deliver her back to me, but fortunately, she's returning by herself, as you have realized by now. My wife is already becoming herself once again in the village, and she will soon remember me once she has grown a little bit older. But yes, if you wish to help, please. I know that there is a new opening in my church. We have employed many priests to try to communicate with the Morning Lord, to try and make him see sense. I do not care if the curse remains on me, but looking to his brides in the room, I care about what this curse does to everyone around me. If you could ever reach him, please tell me. I'm tired of this. And with this, Anna kind of moves in, noticing this kind of moment of reprieve, and she's just kind of starts brushing Peregrine's arm. She says, "Hey there, fancy man. Honestly, I haven't seen you in months. It hurt me so much when you ran away from me." Strahd's on the other side of the table. "He didn't run away, I let him out." Anna, in mock surprise, "But why?" "My love, you cannot keep your pets in the dungeon. It is unsanitary." "I don't remember him complaining," she says as she kind of moves closer to you. Please roll a... You say that. Please roll a Wisdom 18 saving throw. Those around may have seen a brief flash of red light in her eyes, but no one quite knows what it is and suspects it is most likely just that flicker of the candlelight. But Peregrine's body relaxes as Anna picks up his glass and goes, "Oh, whoops. I seem to have poured some wine on myself," as she kind of rubs the wine across her chest. "Oh no, clumsy me, Peregrine. Won't you help me clean it up?" And she takes your hand and starts leading you outside of the room. With this, Strahd kind of like leans forward and puts his head in his hands as you guys go outside. And then you start hearing a kind of banging sound against the wall. All the paintings on the wall start rattling with that, as you can hear, ah, 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 continues on until it eventually stops. Everyone in the room is feeling extremely awkward as the pair come back into their seats. Peregrine, your trousers are now on back to the front, and your shirt is now being kind of buttoned up, kind of, lopsidedly, as you kind of sit there in kind of a zombied state. And she's like, yes, that was very good. Isn't he good, Strahd? Isn't he a good boy?" Yeah. Yes. Yes, but you can now understand. Remember how that you couldn't remember what happened to you when you've been staying in Strahd's castle. I think the others in the room can kind of understand what happened. And then, with all this happening, with the awkward, yes, snoo, all this awkward silence in the room. The last character here, the last bride, Volunta, or Vol as everyone calls her, she leans in close and whispers into Loon's ear, "I like the smell of your soul." Yes, and she looks at you and she kind of licks her lips. She obviously likes you. But yes, thankfully, there is a new distraction as it is the servants again arriving with the main course. And they come in, and what was the main course again that I wrote down? It was, yes, sweet mashed potato with wild carrots, purple carrots, and raw beef steaks. And they put them down at everyone's desks, seats, table, and then they kind of bow and they leave. And you notice again the man that was carrying the things, his hand is really rattling. At one point, he almost loses a fork from the plate. But then Strahd looks around the room and he goes, "I wish to perform a trick for the group. Who wishes to have their food well done?" Yeah. You hear it. Join in solidarity as Strahd clicks his fingers, and boom, there's a massive kind of like rush of fire as the plate literally sets on fire for a moment, and then and the steak is well done. And then he looks again and goes, "Who wants medium?" No? It's like funny, look, "Who wants rare?" And he's looking towards Nina. Yeah. So he just, it's a very shorter flame this time. Does Floki, what does he want from his steak? That's fair. And goes, "Ah, the man who has good taste. Yes, I completely agree. Tuck in, tuck in." As like the brides will pick up their steaks and Strahd as well, and they just kind of suck away until eventually they just have like this very kind of thin, dried kind of bit of jerky, and they put it back down the plate, and they're all just like, "Ah, that was lovely, darling. Yes, a very, very good catch." Yes. So let me see where we got up to the dinner. But yes, how are you guys enjoying the dinner situation so far? It's very awkward, isn't it? So yes. No, but you do have a little clue. Rather than when you described this room to him, he said it sounded like the games room up on the third floor. And yes, but what you do have is Ludmenia kind of leans forward again and goes, Nina, what exactly happened to you when you escaped Barovia? We still don't know. We assumed that you died. They'll look at each other. That is true. The Forge Wars were such a difficult time. And Strahd just goes back to kind of sucking the last bit of juice from his steak. Yes. Last opportunity to ask any questions you might have of Strahd before the dessert arrives. I understand. Because you guys have a lot of questions. The questions I can just tell you now are probably going through your mind. One is you've heard a lot about these Forge Wars. The other one is you've heard from Forge Wars. Yes, this is a war that happened. No, the Forge Wars. The Forge Wars was 50 years ago. The revolt was 1 year ago. Strahd is like, yes, a dark time for me, and also for Barovia. Ninali arrived somewhat in the middle of it, didn't you? And you were not there for the end. It began when an Eberonian inventor called Lucius Lamprey was cast adrift in the lands of my domain. The man was a genius. He opened my eyes to what lay beyond the limits of magic alone. And together we worked on projects to create life and new souls, creating the Warforged. For a time, he was my best friend. Lud leans in and goes, yes, the bromance was enough to make you sick. Like, shut up, darling. But things changed, though, when my love, Titania, was miraculously reborn. I long thought that her soul was lost to me when the Morning Lord cut off these lands from the afterlife, but creating new life widened the cracks in this reality, and her soul was able to return back to me. But I realized this too late, and Lucius turned on me. He took her hostage and used as a shield to build his Warforged army before coming after me so he could become the new ruler of Barovia. When I finally realized he was never going to let Titania go, I deployed my own undead army. That is when the Forge Wars began. I recruited many of my undead friends and also strangers and adventurers like Ninali and Escher. It was around this time that Ninali discovered writings that there was a luck blade had been buried by the old emperor up in Mount Gacchus. A powerful wish spell was said to be cast on the blade, a spell powerful enough to decide the outcome of this war. My forces were a third of the size of Lucius's, and we went all out to secure the weapon, but Lucius, he somehow also learned the location and was personally heading there to the castle ruins. But Ninari hadn't bothered to wait with the main forces. She moved on ahead. She was convinced the Luckblade would grant her immortality, and told me she no longer cared what happened to me or this war. He looks again at Ninari. Just as it seemed like my forces would fall,
The entire top of the mountain exploded. It took out almost all the Warforged warriors. Lucius is on my own. It allowed my undead reserves to finish the battle. But when we searched the mountaintop, neither Nari or Lucius could be found. I'm glad you survived, Nanari. Do you remember what happened that night? Yeah? The years have not been kind to you, my dear. Do not fret. It is in the past. My only little regret that was by the time the war was over and I went to find Titania, I realized that her old ghosts have caught up with her. It seemed that Lucius had done everything he could to keep her alive, and he'd actually gone to the mountain to use the spell to save her life. But as the nurse told me, she was already dead by the time he even set foot by the mountainside. By the time I removed the tubes, all that remained of her body I could hold of one arm. I will not let that happen to her again! And he looks away from the group. Thank you, Nadali. Takes your hand. It's like, I appreciate it. And, you know, who could have guessed I would get a second chance to find my love once again in this life? Thank you. Thank you all. It is good to have your friends close to you. This life is an unexpected thing, and it is so good to meet good people like you. But yes, enough of the misery. This is a feast. This is a time to celebrate. In fact, he clicks his fingers. It is time for pudding! As the servants come back in, and this time it's only the one servant. It is the man who's coming in, and he's holding in his hand a large pudding, and he goes, "This is the greatest pudding of all time. Maybe the greatest food to ever bless this or any other dimension. It is the New York cheesecake." And the man walks towards Strahd, but just as he's passing the halfway point, his shaking hand finally loses control. As we now enter a new moment. The cheesecake falls from his hands, tumbling slowly through the air before smashing into the ground. Butterly, yes. Start. Butterly, no! He's so upset. The man looks down in horror at what he's done. He has dropped the master's New York cheesecake. The brides all come together, standing happily. They know what is coming as they all turn their expression towards Strahd. Never have you seen him more angry. No! You do not understand. That cheesecake came from the dimension of the gods. And he goes out, he's like, "You have done me wrong. You have committed your final third strike. And the guys are, please, no, master, I didn't mean to do it. As he kind of shakes, this man, as you've heard, his name is Stefan Rilski, and he goes on all fours as he pleads, like, master, please, it wasn't me, it was my left hand. I can't stop it shaking. Please, master, do not kill me. He's like, you know what must be done. I give everyone 3 strikes. You had already broken 2 of my measured rules. And now you have done me the greatest disservice, and in front of my friends. Brides, rise! It is time to feast. So, does anyone want to step in? Strahd is like, how can you? Yeah. Even still, Strahd steps back enough and goes, you would defend this man who destroyed what may be the food of the gods? I am not wrong. You do not know what this man is. You would not ever wish to help him, should you know. In fact, I will tell you now, this man had the first strike by pretending to be me. And the second strike, he went to that poor lady's house you saw just now. He went to her window, told her sweet wishes, allowed her to be free them, only to try to take advantage of her in the alley. If my spies hadn't told me what he was up to, she would have likely been raped or even killed. He does not deserve another chance. I gave him one, and he has smashed it to the floor. Yeah. Sure. $16, very good. So even though you do not have your weapons, you still have your medallion on your chest, and it gives you some divine input into this. You get a sense that this man behind you, he's a desperate, cowardly man. He would probably most likely do such a trick. He is, maybe even mentally insane. Hence the shaking of the hand. You maybe think that Strahd is perhaps punishing him too much with this, but it seems to be that these are the rules that Strahd lives by. He gives everyone in his realm 3 chances. On the 3rd chance, there will not be a 4th. The man grabs you by the shoulder. Yeah. He grabs you by the shoulder. He's like, please, don't let him hurt me. I didn't mean to do it. I can't help myself. Please, please don't let him kill me. Loon, you're a priest. Will you allow this to continue? Well, it's true, you could mention that. They know better than to cross me. That's the answer you get. You all sit back
and you watch as the brides begin to surround the man. You can hear the terror in the air as he's like, "No, please, it wasn't me. It was my hand. It was my hand. Please don't punish me." As even Anna climbs over the table, landing in front of him, and goes like, Can we now, husband?" And he's like, "Yes, go, punish him." And all three open their mouths and clamp down. He's like, "No, no, no, no," as he falls unconscious, deflating and being sucked in as he becomes nothing but a mummy. Yes. Strahd clicks his fingers again, and Radin comes back in. He grabs the body, and he goes, "Yes, master, I will take care of it like all the rest." And takes him out. And that is the last you'll ever see of Stefan. Strahd looks around the group and he goes, "I'm sorry you had to see that. This was an eternal matter. I did not expect him to make such a foolish move so shortly after I gave him a final chance. Now that dinner has been ended, maybe you would like to join me in the games room upstairs." Right? He goes over and kisses each of their hands. "I will see you later. Enjoy the night." And they all kind of smile at him, blood dripping from their mouths. So yeah, follow Strahd. You see the maid and Radin kind of just standing there. They kind of nod, and then they kind of walk past and go down through this stairway over here. As Strahd continues to walk up the hallway. You know, Strahd has been very quiet now. Strahd looks and goes, you were there at the battle, weren't you?" "Yes. That is where my blights found you. You were about to stab Anna with a stake. It was a close one. I'm glad that you didn't go through with it." As Strahd continues on, I've got this bit here. Just finding the details. Where did I write this down? There we go. Strahd says, "I'm honestly complexed with why the Puritan movement has gained such a stranglehold over the last half a century. I mean, I admit I did not handle myself too well after the war ended, but I stepped back in a big way to allow things to cool down, which may have been a mistake. It became pretty common each year that some random group of adventurers or other would try to kill me, but they were easily handled, and I just continued on, not caring what happened to the rest of Barovia. That was until you, the Dark Wizard, and your other friends, they came to challenge me, but this time they did not come alone. This time they worked with the burgomasters of Barovia and Valaki. They started their own anti-taint campaigns. They drew the people together and made a militia. You guys attacked out of nowhere. There was no negotiations or anything. You just arrived on my doorstep with pitchfork and torch. I have never had such a hard battle in all of my years as I did with that wizard. I could not hold back my own strength. I do not know what I did at the end, but I know that he is gone now. And I'm sorry. And I'm sorry for your other friends who died that night. I tried to save so many that were on the brink of death. All I could do was turn them into my vampire spawns to give them a second chance of life. It was the only mercy I had left in me. And then he continues on. The purity movement. Yeah. And you've heard this as well. I think, Peregrine, you know that there are people who are very kind of anti any kind of like undead or cursed people, and they're called purists. It's like a political movement. And there's also the taint movement, which is the opposite of that, where they want to be more encompassing of their kind of like kind of strange undead or cursed brethren. So it's like Puritas versus Taint is kind of like red versus blue in the social circles. Yes, and a lot of them. I'm not trying to compare it to real world politics, but you could look at it a little bit like that. I said red versus blue, like in computer games. I wasn't referencing any kind of political things whatsoever outside of this world, just so that you know on Twitch. But yes, it is a political movement that has been strong. You remember those signs that you saw outside the Burgomaster's place about shifters out? That is a common slogan by purists at this point. Strahd continues on to the hallway, and he's like, "Jeffrey, my God, you look terrible!" As he sees that his once kind of ghoul guard, who's turned into basically a skeleton at this point, is like, "What the hell happened to you? I will have a speak." Yeah, not fed or watered. I will have a stern talk with Radin when I next see him. It turns out, oh, I could never do a strike against Radin. He's been with me for over 500 years. He was with my family before I was born. It's hard to punish friends, but maybe he thinks about it for a moment. Maybe I'll have a talk with him. Yes, I understand, Denari. You're always on about this. You always think I could do better, but you'll try ruling a town in a cursed hellscape. Denali, honestly, at this point, I could use a break. I have my own projects to focus on. That is not a bad idea. No. As long as you keep the people from revolting, then that'd be fine. I can focus entirely on the arena. It's fair. I'm very interested to know what Luden and Nina think of this same thing. Like, what's their feelings of Strahd at this point? It was a cheesecake. Oh yeah, I understand it. So he does quite. I'm just pointing out that he did drop a cheesecake. I mean, you know, yeah, the best kind. Just, yeah, I get emotional about it personally. But yes, Strahd invites you to join him upstairs. I'll move you guys up to the 3rd floor. Let's see if we can't get you guys back in position. There we go. So you guys arrive up on the 3rd floor. This new room again. Strahd looks down and goes, "Yes, it seems that Aladdin has not been doing his duties. This should have been cleaned up months ago. This is more remnants of the war from last year. I mean, I do not understand why the people would spend so much time smashing statues when they were fighting the undead. I mean, it seems like a waste of energy and time to just smash up my nice things." Yeah. Exactly. Yes, I would like you to roll an investigation check of the room. Bit of Peregrine power. So you have to roll a 1d4. Two. Yes, you succeed. Yes, you get advantage. Yeah. So, but 14 is still very good. I'll read the description of this room. Dark alcoves line the walls of this long hallway. The ceiling has fallen here, leaving rubble strewn across the floor with various pieces of broken statue. Overhead, the beams of Ravenloft's roof are exposed. Lightning from dark clouds above sporadically illuminates the hall, lighting the faces of these life-sized human statues. Each flash shows a different visage of horror or sadness or anger, but as the light disappears, they return to normal, sullen statues. Strahd explains that these statues are of his ancestors, and sometimes he thinks that they are imbued with their spirit. He thinks that these faces of horror and sadness are on what has happened to Stars and his line. He doesn't spend a lot of time in this room. As you kind of go past, you hear one of the statues start whispering to you, Floki. It's like a spiritual connection. So, do you wish to ask them a question? Kill Strahd. Lead him to the afterlife. End the curse.
Don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about, Strahd says. That's a fair assessment. And then the trickier part will be to kill him. You already know that he's a strong fighter. He's already defeated many strange and powerful creatures, much more powerful than yourselves. So it'll be a real question of, can you even defeat him? Which is, I guess, where this leads you to the next room as you step into the games room. Yes. So it goes, yes, this is my library and games room. This is where I spend much of my time whilst I'm waiting for Alina to leave the house. She hardly leaves this time of year. But, yes, there are many books. Please feel free to read whatever you like. And if you wish to join me, he points at the table, I am a very big fan of chess. Oh, you notice the first painting over here. It does. It looks like an older version of Arena in a beautiful purple gown with jewels. Yes, this was commissioned maybe, just under 400 years ago. But it looks strikingly like her. He spots you and goes, yes. He goes, yeah, this is a painting of my love, my almost blind Tatiana. So T-A-T, Yana. Yeah. And he walks over and looks at this and the painting, goes like, I have stared at this painting more hours than I can possibly count. I for so long thought she was lost to me, but hey, now she is coming back. It is a good time. And I can see that Loon has gone over to look at the other painting as well. And again, Strahd goes over, God, I looked like such a baby back then. I was so young and in love. You can see it resonating from the painting. Yes, this was painted maybe 2 months before the wedding. I was maybe the happiest I'd ever been that day. Doesn't look particularly happy, does he? No. But, rose-coloured goggles and all that. You also... He goes, oh no, that's a really good party trick. And he pulls out a mirror and shows it. Look, see, you couldn't see it. Floating clothes. Woo, it's so funny. Like, it's just my clothes just floating in the air. What's going on? Am I a ghost? Well, hey. So no, yeah. So he has no reflection. It's also very useful. Sometimes I wear mirror glasses so I can see behind myself if someone's trying to sneak up on me. Yeah. But then he returns and goes, so, anyone want to play chess? I love to play chess against my blind. It's usually me versus the 3, so I only have 3 set up. Of course, like, that's the only way to play once you've reached my rank. Who wants this? Chess. Yes, chess. It is from another dimension. It's from the land of the gods. It's where the New York cheesecake came from. I have to say, of all the board games I played, this is my favorite. The rules are simple. Yes, if you all play against me, it is more entertaining that way. Yes, it is the funnest way to play. And he goes, in fact, anyone who beats me can take any book they wish from my library. I have quite an extensive collection. As you look around, you see that there's a large section for self-help books. There's also a large collection of like books for dummies, going from like quantum physics to DIY to spiritual magic. All the classic kind of books for idiots. As well as a lot of kind of romance novels and some sci-fi, and then a few skill books as well, which could be quite interesting. It goes, welcome, sit down, we'll begin. I'll explain the rules, and he takes like a little time to kind of explain how chess works for you guys. And it sounds very similar to Dragon Chess, which is a classic game from your world, but just with a less of a rule set. Yes, there's no dragon pieces on this chess set, but he goes, I think the simplicity of it makes it a better game. But yes, does Nina step near the fire? As you step close to the fire, your buttocks begin to vibrate. Probably so. Yep. Oh, there's no way you couldn't notice it. Yeah. That's fair. So who wishes to join the table with Strahd? That's fair. Floki's loons in. Does Peregrine join, or is he going to stay out? This is going to be a two-man chess. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Okay, so the rules of how the chess works in here is I wish for everyone to do their starting move, and that just requires a 2 or better check with a 1d20. Loon coming out with a strong. Ooh, yeah. Because Charlie's like, it's impressive. You guys are taking to this naturally. That was a great first move. But now it is my turn. And he moves his own pieces. It is again a type of check, but it's going to be a DC 5 check. Oof. Yep, beats it. Has everyone rolled? Yep. I think, has Loon rolled? Yes. He's like, oh, very good. I can see the check you're coming up with that. Is that the bishop maneuver? And then Strahd moves his piece again. It's going to be a DC 10 check now. Oof. Yes. It's not popping up there. 3 doesn't do it. So what we're flicking? Yeah, great. That one. Strahd with you were about to move. It is the reverse solar eclipse. Very good move. Very good move. So yes, but he's already knocked out Loon. He goes, nice try, kid. You can keep practicing this. You'll get good at this one day. Turns back to the 2 men and goes, okay, it's all to play for. We are halfway through the game. Can you finish it? It's a DC 15 check, please. Oh, yeah. Soft guidance and chess. Yeah. Any heroic inspirations that you might want to use? They're gone. Okay. As Strahd, like, with both hands on together, ha! Yes, I won. That was a really fun 5 minutes. That'll be the best part of my entire day. I'll think about this for weeks. But yes, he's very chuffed. He kind of sees how everyone's kind of down after he's just absolutely sorted them. He goes, you know what? I think you guys deserve a second place prize. So he is going to get. I'm just going to look up the exact name of it. I can't find it. So, do you remember what it's called? Is it Scroll of Revival? What's the one that brings you back to life from death? Yeah. That's it. So, Strahd is going to go over, and then from the books, he's just going to slip out a single scroll sheet of Revivify. And he goes, who wishes to carry this out to the 2 of you? I only have the 1. Floki, please take your scroll of Revivify. Very useful to have. It'll still require like an expensive jewel to work, but you now have a +1 life. Congratulations. It's just the spell. It's not the jewel as well. The material components. Cast, but it still requires the money. Yeah, it's a yes, but still, congratulations, you got an extra life now. Da 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 da. Great. And with that, Strahd is very happy. He kind of stands up, but then, rushing from the door, Radin comes in. I'll just grab here. He comes in,
And he whispers something to Strahd. And Strahd goes, "What? Really? She's out of the house right now?" And he turns to Quimper and goes, "I am so sorry, my friends. I will be back in the morning, but I've just heard that Arena has left her home. I cannot let this opportunity go. Please make yourself at home. Do stay in the lighted areas, and I will see you for breakfast in the morning." He runs over to a part of the wall where he pulls out a series of books in different orders. You hear a clank sound as a hole opens up beneath him, and Strahd drops down 2 stories. You hear the sound of galloping horse hooves as he lands on top of his horse, and he goes like, "Persephone, hi-ho!" And he rushes out of the castle, and he's gone. And Ra then looks around and goes, "You can find your own way back to your rooms. For me, I will go to bed. Good night." And he leaves the room. Yeah. Yeah. I was literally just going to end it. I was Yeah, okay. I'm going to fast forward time because you would have done this anyway. You spend a bit of time investigating around the fireplace. You can definitely feel that there's a vibration around there. And after having seen Strahd kind of pulling books to make trapdoors open, you realise that pulling the poker next to the fire, and then as the door behind the fireplace opens up, and you realise you've discovered one more secret door inside of Strahd's home. It is behind the fire, but I'm sure you guys will find your way. But otherwise, you've got your first clue to perhaps where the treasure lies in Strahd's castle. And that is where we'll end it tonight, everyone. Thank you so much for playing. Yes, we've been playing the Curse of Strahd. I am the Grim Roller, and for all of those at home watching this game, I bid you a good night. Sleep well. Thank you, Bard. And yes, good night.